Hello, welcome to another YouTube video. This video I'm going to show you how you can reduce your startup time, remove your black screen cut off death. Most of you have seen the applications I've been building so far and are amazed by the startup time. 3 seconds, maximum 5 seconds. That's the highest I've witnessed. So I'm going to teach you the secret in this video. Quick notice, I have decommissioned all use of MVC for Kivy. I no longer use MVC for Kivy. I have migrated to a new style. So just pay attention and you'll get your job done. Once you create your main.py file, fill it up with whatever thing. Don't do too much work on your main.py file. Let's just keep it simple, right? I love to have a Kivy file called import.kv on the same folder as my main.py. This import.kv, nothing is inside of it yet. It's going to contain all of our imports that we'd want to access within a KV file. And then it will contain all the whole widgets that we want other screens to access globally. We'll still come to that. So first of all, you just load it. You can do your builder the load file, but I don't care about that. I want to use Kivy to load it. So next thing I want to do is to go to my base screen. Yeah, here I want to be able to create a screen that any of my screen within the app is going to inherit. So I want this screen to be able to have access to app. Which app am I talking about? I'm talking about this app. I want it to access my global app, right? Just in case I want to do anything on the app. So once I am done with that, I will head over to my screen manager here. This will be responsible for adding and removing screen. So first of all, let's import Kivy Screen Manager. So once I'm done importing that, I'm going to create my own screen manager. I'll call it App Screen Manager. And then I'll subclass the screen manager here. Then I'll create screens config. It's not like a configuration anyway, but this is going to be a dictionary property. So this dict property is going to be responsible for holding all the whole screen that we want to declare in the app. What I will do next is to override the oncurrent method. So this oncurrent method is responsible for adding screens to your screen manager, right? I mean, for displaying screen. So when you say app.screen, no, manager.current equals, that is when you switch screen. So once you do the lazy loading here, whenever we dictate a screen wants to switch, we'll check if the file has been loaded. If it has not been loaded, we'll load it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to check if not self has screen value. This value is going to be the name of the screen. So I'm going to check if this screen manager does not have the screen we want to switch to. What we want to do is to say screen data equals to self.screen config.get value. I don't want to just use get value. I want to get it straight, because yeah, how this will actually look, let me put a sample so as to not confuse us. Let me say home screen. This should be the name of your screen. Then the next thing here, this is going to be the path to your screen, not the module of your screen. So I'll call this presentation. This presentation will be the file holding the screen, but you can call it anything you like. It's a dictionary. Then I'll say, now this is the module. I'll create a tuple of module and the screen. Then here I will want to say it is the name of the class name. We'll still get to see how this thing comes to play, but for now, just if you don't understand it, just ignore it doesn't exist. Let's move on. So we get the screen data. What we're getting is this guy once we pull the home screen. Next thing I want to do is to get the module, the presentation module part. So I'll want to call this presentation module part. And then did I spell that module correctly. Then I want to also get a presentation class name. So once I'm able to pull that off, because this will now return us this tuple, right? Because we are getting the presentation from this dictionary. Don't worry, you see how that plays out. So once we get both data, what we're going to do next is to get the presentation module. Presentation module is we have to now import, import that, import lib module, blah, blah, blah. So we'll kind of like import this Python file, without the .py, just like saying, hey, you don't put a .py here, like saying .py. No, you don't do that. All right, so next thing we'll do is to get the actual class, presentation class. Good, I love this. I love this PyCharm AI. So here we are getting the module and then get to the class name. You don't need to really understand. You can just copy and paste this code. Okay, so next I'm going to say presentation and then instantiate the class. This is where I'm instantiating the class, right? And then finally, I can now say presentation dot app is equals to app dot get running app. So this app is actually coming from this screen. Remember, presentation is our screen. I could have named it screen, but I love the word presentation. So it is assigning the global application here. So once I am done with that, I can now say self the add widget. What widget am I adding? I'm adding the presentation. So once we are done adding the presentation, what I will do next is to say supra, equals that on current instance and value. So we'll kind of like shift back the super function, kind of like call back the original on current. You don't need to understand anyway. Just copy paste and your life is good. Then we'll return supra. So this is basically it. Once you assign a screen, this is fired. It detects, it checks whether the screen exists. If it doesn't exist, it performs this whole step to get the module, get the screen, instantiate the screen, add it to the screen manager, and then push back to Kivy screen manager to do the other work of presenting the screen. So this is one way to do a lazy loading. I love it because I don't have to worry about other configuration. I've done like the most configurations here. So what I want to do next is I love it when I press the back button, uh, let my screen go back, let my application go back to the previous screen it was. And so what I want to do here is to dev init and then super put my style quirks, and then I want to bind window the bind on keyboard. So I want to import the Kivy core window. And I want to rename this to self dot go back. This go back will be responsible for managing going back to the previous screen. So I can say create the function here. Def go back. You want this to be window. These are the arguments that will be passed from, you don't need to understand anyway. This is the, once you do this, you don't need to worry about doing this over and over again. It's just a simple configuration, you get over with it. So if you're using SDL3, the new key for back button has changed. If key equals, I'll just say if key in 27 is for SDL2, and for SDL3 on Android, it is now 1073. 7422106. So we'll have to check if this key is in any of these 737422106. I'm just confirming. Okay, yeah. So we'll check if self the screens. Uh, Kivy manager Kivy screen manager has a variable called screens, which contains the instance of every screen that it has, right? So I want to get the index of the current screen, and platform is equal to Android. Yeah, what we want to do is we want to, let's say if there is no other, this means if screen index equals 0 and platform equals 100, if there is no other screen to go back to, if the current screen is the last screen, right? We want to send our application to the background. You can do anything you want here. You can either display a dialog to ask the user if they want to exit the application or something. So for me, I want to, yeah, activity. I want to send the application back to the background, move task to back. So on Android, this will put your application in the background. It won't exit so that the user can still come back to it later and continue. And we want to return true here. Yeah, if we are on Android. Then if we're on desktop, we don't, you can do anything you like, but I don't care if you're on desktop. So self dot current equals self dot previous. So we are going back to the previous screen. Kivy has previous and next, right? Functions that can get you the previous screen and the future screen. So I want to say go back to the previous screen. The previous screen is actually the screen that was shown before. So I can return true here also. So we are only returning true if we performed an action. You don't need to understand that. So that is basically it, right? Now, the next thing we want to do is to, let's say, create our home screen. I'm going to create new Python package. I'll call it home. I'll add this. And inside this home, I want to create a file. I want to call it presentation.kv. Inside these also, I want to create a Python file presentation. It's already in the py anyway. Yeah, so we have that. I can easily say from uh, features dot base screen, import base screen. I can say class home screen. I can subclass my base screen here and put pass. Inside my KV file, I can do my home screen just like that. This is enough. I don't need to. I can. Okay, let's say, yeah, the name of the screen. We need to put the name of the screen, home screen, and then maybe I can just put a button here for testing. Text equals hello world. Right. Next thing I will do is to go to main.py. Here we'll try to build our application, right? So I love to do something like this. Um, I would want to say SM Screen Manager is equals to App Screen Manager, right? So I can say sm.current. So this will do the trick of adding the widget to Screen Manager home screen. And then I'm going to return SM. Yeah, let me see if we're going to have any errors. No screen name with name home screen. So what we're missing here is um, we didn't load this home screen, right? We can easily load the home screen using this feature. I can say from os the part port dir name join and what else, base, the base name. And once I'm done importing that, I'm going to now import from kivy.lang import builder. Yeah, I can now load. First thing I want to do on each of my screen is to load the kv file before any other thing. I'm going to do builder.load file join. I'll get the directory name, and this should be the base name of the file. Please stop doing that. Okay. uh we're joining die name, base name, and so this will get us the directory name. This will get us this home folder. Then base name of the file, we're getting this presentation.py, and then we are splitting it. We want to replace exactly. Thank you. And now this AI is becoming so wise. So we want to split the name and replace it to .kv. So now when we try to run our main.py file, again, this should work. Yeah. So now it's easy. Notice we didn't add anything to Screen Manager. We didn't create a KV file for Screen Manager. We don't need one, right? And there is one superpower that I want to give you before I start ending this video is that in this import.kv, um, to make your application run a bit faster, I love doing something like this. This can be the first thing you do before you start writing your code. So do canvas the before and just do clear. This will make your scrolling speed a little more faster. Yeah, just do this. Nothing else, just do this. But we're not scrolling anything yet. So maybe we can create extra screen to test a few things before I close out on this video. Next video will be about testing this on Android to see how fast it starts. So I'm going to create a new Python package. I'm going to call this new. Yeah, just call it new. Add. This new is going to have its own file presentation. Okay, v add and new Python file presentation.py. Nope.py yet. So I just want to go here, Ctrl C, come here, Ctrl V, rename this to new screen, and new screen. Please do not forget to put the name of the screen here. Name, new screen. If you don't put, let's assume I don't put this. Okay, let's not assume. Okay, let's assume I don't put this. And you are going to have an error So when I switch, I want to say on release, I want to say app dot no root dot manager dot current is equals to new screen. Yeah, remember to add this to your screen config here. New screen. Uh, this is your time to kind of like auto complete this shit. Presentation. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, so what I will do now is I'll try to run my main.py file again. Let me actually click this play button. And let's see, switching to new screen, what will happen? Too much pencil pub. What is going on? I think it's inside of my Canva. Okay, this is supposed to be after, not before. Yeah, and let's test that again. Okay, so once I do this, yeah, screen no screen with name new screen. Reason is because you forgot to put your name new screen here. Isn't that simple? Switch. Awesome. So it's faster. It's everything. The worst mistake you do is to do a whole lot of work on your main.py. I'm going to show you in the future how you are going to. We're going to build a complex application in the future, just little by little. Then we'll get to the be more professional with this, so you can build more great projects. So with this, I'll see you on my next video. Next video, we'll talk about compiling. We're going to compile and test it on Android to see how fast it is actually, to know whether I am talking bullshit or I'm making sense.